10/10/2018. Is this the mark of the beast? Is this going to be the end of paper money? Speaking of more money, they're referring to him as King Cyrus, as if this temple coin, it's a shekel? You can only get in if you have this temple coin, the third temple that they're literally building. Okay, so King Cyrus, the Great, is apparently the king of Persia, king of Anshan, king of Media, king of Babylon, which is America, king of Sumer, king of Akkad, king of the four corners of the world. The citizens of Babylon, I lifted their unbecoming yoke, their dilapidated dwellings I restored, I put an end to their misfortunes. So they truly are literally showing him to be King Cyrus. Okay, so that's clear. That's clear as to who he's playing in the Bible. But back to 10:10. Speaking of being played out in the Bible, here's another incident being played out in the Bible.
Yesterday morning at this time, we had a Category 1 hurricane. This morning, it's a Category 4. And it has strengthened overnight to now 140 mile per hour winds right around the center of the storm. And I tell you, I'll bet that 140 mile per hour winds is right here on this eastern side. You see all that lightning? The lightning continues in and around the center. It's just a sign of intensification. The fact that it walled itself off, this eye wall became solid overnight. And I'm going to show you the satellite presentation in just a second, and it is just an impressively powerful storm.
Unfortunately, powerful.
Yes, it's got to go somewhere, and it's still headed toward the Panhandle. Now, tropical storm force winds go out like 175 miles or so.
So this is this is from space, okay? This is definitely trustworthy. For sure. It's NASA, by the way. So absolutely. This is a live stream on October 10th, 2018. This is Hurricane Michael. Hurricane Michael. From space on October 10th. 10:10. For some reason there's no sound. I don't know. But it's it's showing a picture of something. Doesn't really look like it's moving too much at all, but maybe it's just because the world's so huge. So try to get a close up. It starts getting creepy. It starts looking like that egghead thing from Pet Goat 2. All right, starting to look like there's a face getting ready to pop out of the head here, like a child, like a baby. Like this thing here. This I love this part. It's like, are they upside down? Okay, now look at it. It looks like a grown man. Looks like a freaking grown man. His eyes, his nose, his hair. Getting ready to, like it's a birth or something. All right, October, the month of October. 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, free fall, cliff dive, the 10th, and the 11th. Just went to the bottomless pit, and then went up a little bit. It's declining again, and more. And so yesterday went down to the furthest point so far. Just keeps getting lower and lower. There's one bounce up. 1, 2, 3. Basically 3. That's from a month. So even if I do 3 months, all the way back in July. It's just look at the steadiness of everything, and then all of a sudden on 10/10, straight off the cliff. This right here, speaking to you. This image speaks, communicates with you with the printed words. This is speaking to you. This one's getting ready to collapse. This one's getting ready to take over. Even looking here, where in his eyes it shows the stock market, the numbers, with it falling. Plunge. Plunge. But when is this plunging? Plunge, war, coverage. Plunge, war, coverage. Now let me just go to Daniel 10:10. And behold, an hand touched me, which set me upon my knees and upon the palms of my hands. So what is this even talking about? All right, so you got to read from the beginning to get to the context. So, but just keep in mind 10:10. In the third year of King Cyrus, Cyrus, king of Persia, in the third year of this king of Persia and Media and Babylon. Yeah, this is over 2.5 years ago. So this is this is his third year, because February 22nd. So he just got inaugurated a month before that. So we're we're in October now. So this is in Trump's third year of reign. Is Donald Trump a modern day King Cyrus? Yes, that's the script. Okay, I just want to show you where the script is. So in the third year of Donald Trump of Persia, a thing was revealed unto Daniel, whose name was Belteshazzar, and the thing was true, but the time appointed was long. How long is long? And he understood the thing, and he had understanding of the vision. In those days, I, Daniel, was mourning 3 full weeks. 3 full weeks from 10:10 is October 31st, Halloween. The day that they love to celebrate the most. I ate no pleasant bread, neither came flesh nor wine in my mouth, neither did I anoint myself at all till 3 whole weeks were fulfilled. And then the 24th day of the first month, who knows what day is what month at any given time in any calendar? Who knows? I don't. As I was by the side of the great river, which is called Hiddekel, then I lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose loins were girded up with fine gold of Uphaz. His body was also like the beryl, in his face as the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as the lamps of fire, and his arms as the feet, like in color to polished brass, and the voice of his words like the voice of a multitude. This isn't talking about just his voice alone, because his voice is the voice of his words are like the voice of a multitude, which are many people, because Christ is inside of all of us. The good ones. And I, Daniel, alone saw the vision, but for the men that were with me saw not the vision, but a great quaking fell upon them, so that they fled to hide themselves. Therefore I was left alone, and saw this great vision. Make America great again. Great Babylon. Therefore I was left alone and saw this great vision, and there remained no strength in me, for my comeliness was turned in me into corruption, and I retained no strength. Yet heard I the voice of his words, and when I heard the voice of his words, then was I in a deep sleep on my face, and my face toward the ground. Okay, so leading up to chapter 10, verse 10, and behold, a hand touched me, which set me upon my knees and upon the palms of my hands. And he said unto me, O Daniel, a man greatly beloved, understand the words that I speak unto thee, and stand upright, for unto thee am I now sent. And when he had spoken this word unto me, I stood trembling. And said he unto me, Fear not, Daniel, For from the first day that thou didst set thine heart to understand, to chasten thyself before thy God, thy words were heard, and I am come for thy words. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia, which is Satan, the prince of darkness, withstood me 21 days. But lo, Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me, and I remained there with the kings of Persia. Now I am come to make thee understand what shall befall thy people in the latter days. Yet the vision is for many days. Okay, so obviously the core of this chapter is 10:10, because his hand touched him, which set him upon his knees and upon the palms of his hands. It is Michael, one of the chief princes.
Here. So we're not going to get sustained tropical storm force winds. The biggest problem in our area, as we've stated, are the high tides. We had flooding this morning in our high tide. The tides are on their way out now. When they come back in this afternoon, folks, we're going to have those same roads that are probably going to be flooded. So just keep that in mind.
It's like that game on oh man, it was with Bob Barker, where that little mountain man, the little mountain man would climb up the hill like right at the 10th when it falls down the cliff. Okay, so there's 10:10, and there's 21 days, and it's lands in the midst of the week on October 31st, 2018, which is Halloween. It's Halloween time. Now, I don't know if that's what they're really trying to do with showing this looking like a child at first. I mean, it's from NASA, you know what I mean? So it's obviously an image anyway. But there, it looks like it's an egg. It looks like a boy's face, and then down a little more, and I mean, come on, man. It's a straight up man's head. Straight up man's head. And then, of course, this part, the elite, they're trying to play this out too as if this is representing Draco, the dragon, getting ready to devour the man-child that's born as soon as it's born. Revelation 12. So Revelation 12, and there appeared a great wonder in heaven, and a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars, which to me is representing the 12 tribes, 12,000 each, 144,000, when they were really born. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head. Now just I just noticed this. King of Persia, 1, 2, 3. King of Babylon, 4. King of Sumer, 5. Achan, 6. King of the 4 corners of the world, 7. Here he is, pretending to be King Cyrus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. above his head. So in his tail drew a third part of the stars, the fallen angels, the messengers of heaven, because their soul right now is literally in hell, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. Just notice how, as it's talking about devouring the child, that the name Michael again is brought up at the same time. And she brought forth a man-child, who was to rule all nations with the rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto God and to his throne. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she has a place prepared to God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil, Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. See, and at that time was salvation. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, Now is come salvation, and strength, and the kingdom of our Lord, and the power of his Christ. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. And they overcame him with the blood of the Lamb, which represents the fifth trumpet and the seal, and by the word of their testimony which they held, and they loved not their lives unto death. So this all ties in again with the fifth seal, the fifth trumpet, 7 years ago. Because therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. And here's the first woe. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he has but a short time. And that short time is a little season. So when it comes to talking about Michael, the archangel, it's also referring to, it's also leading into the economy collapse too, even with this guy here, with it being in his eyes, the economy collapsing. But see, what I'm saying, it already happened 7 years ago. They're playing it out now in all types of ways that they can. Revelation 13:12, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, and he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he does great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men, to deceive them that dwell there. So this is between the economy collapse and the war that they show, that they can maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. Obviously, because it's there to deceive them. All that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles, which they had to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image of the beast which had been wounded by the sword and did live. And then, of course, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many that would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So this image is speaking. Both of them speak to you. They communicate perfectly well. And this is the first beast being destroyed, and here's the second one rising up out of the sea of people. So here's what they're showing you, I believe, the man-child, when NASA is showing it to you on October 10th, as if it's like the birthing. It almost looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Seriously. So this is definitely Trump's third year. And he's acting as if he's King Cyrus. And see, Daniel, he understood the thing, and he had understanding of the vision. And then now there's a time period of 3 weeks from the time that he understood this vision. So in those days, I, Daniel, was mourning 3 full weeks. You know, 3 full weeks. It's Halloween. This is that same feeling as April 7th about something world changing. Like this is, I don't think the world will ever be the same from this point on. That's what I'm saying. But then it can be prolonged, and then it can be a little bit longer after that. But it's getting closer to, okay, at least what they're playing out when it comes to the hurricane, okay, and the name of it, and the date of it, and then talking about the Bitcoin, the mark of the beast. Everything happened on 10/10/2018. Just understand that they truly are acting out this Bible. Whether you believe it or not, it doesn't matter. They are truly playing out the Bible's end time prophecy. And I can just see where they're at. And that's why they're so predictable with what they're doing. So you can't ignore that they're showing these hurricanes, and there is a 3-week period, and it happens to land on Halloween, which is is that like their biggest ritual sacrifice every year, but this being the last time. And again, I'll go back to this date 7 years ago, the 5-month period where the scorpions were stinging men that didn't have the seal of God in their forehead because they didn't know any better. Then same thing if you take October 21st, 2011, add 7 years and 10 days. To the church in Smyrna, I know that works. Poverty. Those that say they are Jews but are not, they're a synagogue of Satan. Know thy tribulation. Fear none of those things which thou suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. I know there's a point where they're going to play out the 10 days. All I'm doing is adding the 7 years and the 10 days, and it comes to that same date, Halloween. So these are all the last numbers that I have in mind, and after this, there's absolutely no other connection that makes any sense, pretty much ever in the history of the world, for me anyway. But right here, the woman fled into the wilderness where she had a place prepared unto God that they should feed her there 1,203 score days. If I'm looking at this from here to here, being the 5 months talked about, and then the 5th seal opens up on this day, and then the first woe, and Satan being cast down.